In this video I'm going to give a quick overview of the current import and export targets that's supported by Scineric Workspace. What I have open at the moment is the Add New Design dialog, which gives an overview of all the import types that's currently supported. So on the left you have the design type. So the way it works is you will select your design type, and according to your design type it will give you the list of association databases that's available for that type, and then the options that's available for that type. At the moment we only have the HTML design database, which is the default one, but as this list grow over time, or as you receive or share databases with each other, this list will grow. I'm going to step through all of the options. All of the options that's shown here is also shown on the custom design, so I'm going to stay in this view. The first option is create design from folder, which will basically create the design from existing folder, and it will add a Scineric design file to that folder, and it will represent all of the files underneath that folder structure using your designs database. The next option is to create an empty design, which will be a clean design that you can use to start new projects. You can also generate the example design. This generate example design will create a new design to create dummy files for all the file types that's in your association database. To give you an overview of how your designs will look. This is useful when you create new databases and you want to preview them. The next couple of options is Altera import options. So the first one is Altera Quartus project. This allows you to import a Altera Quartus project and all of its settings, or device settings, etc. It will give you options when you click on it. The next one is a Altera Quartus tickle script, so that will import files and settings from a tickle script produced by Quartus. Next one is a archived example. The archived example, there's a couple of examples there, or it will show you all the examples that shipped with Scineric. At the moment it's only one. The next one is import design archive. That allows you to import a design archive that was created by somebody else in Scineric Workspace. So that archive will contain all the necessary things for Scineric to open it. Next one is IP-exact component. This allows you to open any IP-exact component file. Scineric will inspect the file sets element and all the parameters, and it will present this for you to edit and change. Important here, Scineric will not override other vendor extensions details in that file. It will only change what it needs to change, and it will save all everybody else's details back into the resulting file. Next option is import Scineric Workspace design. This is a basic Scineric project file. Now remember, Scineric project file is also IP-exact component file, just with Scineric vendor extensions added to it. It is also something to notice is that the extension of Scineric Workspace design is .swd.xml, where a normal IP-exact component is just .xml. The last four options is based on Xilinx input types. First one is Xilinx ISE example, so that will open. It will show you all the examples that's in your installed Xilinx version. You can open any of them. Next one is ISE project, which allows you to open existing ISE project. Again, it will allow you to choose what you want to import from that project. Next one is ISE tickle script. That's again a tickle script produced by ISE. You can import those scripts. And last one is a Xilinx project script. This is a Xilinx PRJ file that's produced by Synthesis or by external tools that also use the same format. For this demo, I'm going to open an ISE example. I'm going to click on next, and it will give me a list of all the ISE examples that's installed for my different environments. So I'm going to go for the ISE 14.1 environment here. Also 13.1, but I'm going to stick with this one. So I'm going to just select any one of these. Let's open that Verilog design. When you open it, it will, as all other design inputs in Scineric, it will give you some basic design information. That is the database and the design type was populated from the previous dialog, and then you can edit all your VLNV tag structures that's specified by IP-exact. So you can specify your vendor, your library, your name, and your version. Now you can change your default vendor in the Scineric settings, so you don't have to change it every time, and you can also merge with existing designs, but that is a different topic that I explained in a different video. But basically that's why you have this browse repository button at the top, but I'm not going to go into that details. For this example, we just want to use the defaults, and on the bottom you'll notice the working folder. So we want to create a working folder, and you will notice that it's in red, so that means there's already an existing design in that output path. So we're just going to select to overwrite that. So we're going to select empty first. When you click on next, it will give you the import options for an ISE project. So you will see that it detected the project file was saved in 14.1, and you can import design file settings and also implementation settings. So I'm going to leave all of these on, and notice that it will import everything in that project. When I click on finish, it will start. In Scineric, all things running in the background is shown to you by tasks that's shown in the top right corner of the application. If you click on the arrow next to the task name, the task log will open. For example, in this case, you will notice there was a few errors already, or a few warnings rather. So they are all in yellow. So you'll notice that the task arrow becomes yellow, showing that there was some warnings logged. If there was errors, it would have become red. So as you can see, we're now passing all of the implementation properties and everything in that project file. Okay, so we are done. The task completed. Notice that the task stays in the top if there was any errors or warnings, for you to review those warnings. If the task completes successfully, it would automatically disappear. Since we've reviewed it, we're going to just remove that task from that list. If you're going to step through the different tabs here, you can see that all the files in that design was imported. Also, the ISE project was added to our third-party projects node. Also, the build folder was added. If you go to builds, you will notice that the build configuration was created for your design with all the settings that was in your ISE project. So you can now run it in Scineric, or you can clone it and compare it or share it with other people. Okay, since we have a design now, I'm going to show how you can export these designs. Again, the export design dialog will show you all the export options for your design type. Since we have a firmware design at the moment, it will show us all the firmware export types. They're all grouped by vendor. So the first one is Altera Design Tools. You'll notice you can create Altera Quarters project from this design now, or Altera Quarters tickle script. Under General, you will notice that you can create a design archive and send it to somebody else to open. Notice that it will save everything that's needed, the databases, everything in that design archive. If you run builds, it will save all your builds, everything in that archive, so you can easily send a build to somebody else. They can open it and also build exactly with the same setup that you had. If they didn't have the correct environments like you had, let's say for example you build in ISE 14.1, they have 13.1, they will have the option to change that configuration to merge it to 13.1. It will give you all of those details on their side. So it allows you to reproduce a build exactly on another PC without thinking about it. Okay, the Scineric export design will allow you to create a Scineric project, and then the last option category is the Xilinx design tools. Now you can create an ISE project from a Scineric project. You can create an ISE tickle script that you can run in an ISE project to add the files that was in your Scineric design. You can export and create a Planet project, a Planet tickle script, and finally a Xilinx project script. Over time, new tools like the Vivado toolset will be added, and whatever would come out in the future can easily be added to this export design dialog through plugins. I'm not going to export anything now. That was a quick introduction of the import and export targets that's available.